Hi guys, my name is Kendra and I'll be covering Leadership and Self-Deception Getting Out of the Box by the Arbinger Institution for my leadership book report. Leadership and Self-Deception Getting Out of the Box is the story of Tom Collin, a newly hired manager at Zekrom, and his journey to understanding what makes Zekrom such a successful company while confronting some of the issues he's been facing in his personal and work life. This book seeks to uncover and highlight the ways that we tend to blind ourselves to our true motivations while unwittingly sabotaging the effectiveness of our efforts to achieve success and increased happiness. According to the Arbinger Institution webpage, it is a global leadership development firm that helps organizations shift their mindsets, transform their cultures, and drives change that lead to exceptional results. Their mission statement is bringing humanity to the workplace. The main theory presented in leadership and self-deception is the idea that any interaction or action can be done in the box or out of the box, and focuses on how being in or outside the box affects your mindset and interactions with other people. But what does it mean to be in the box or outside the box, and why should we care? Being in the box is when people engage in self-betrayal, which means that they're going against their better judgment to help others in need. While being outside the box is when people view others as people and question their own actions and morality. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the 5 leadership lessons I've learned. The first leadership lesson I learned how to be, was how being in the box affects the workplace. Self-betrayal causes self-justification that leads to self-deception, which results in people being in the box. But how does this affect the workplace? When self-betrayal leads to self-justification, people start to view others through a distorted lens that justifies their own view and opinions of the other person. This distorted view typically makes other people seem worse than they actually are, while simultaneously making you seem more virtuous, which leads to self-deception. Once we start engaging in self-deceptive behaviors, we're in the box. If we're in the box, we cannot accurately identify, communicate, or resolve issues in the workplace as we're more focused on self-justification, which can hinder productivity, efficiency, and performance. Here I've left an example of kind of what this can look like in the workplace if you guys want to pause and look at this. With that out of the way, I'm going to move on to the second lesson I learned. How to get out of the box. It is important to note that getting out of the box is not as simple as identifying a single behavior that got you in the box, as it goes deeper than just behavior. According to the Arbinger Institution, we leave the box the moment we cease resisting what's outside of our box, others, and cease resisting the call of their humanity upon us. This is important for leaders as the best way to communicate, interact, and work together with their team is to get out of the box and actually see their team for who they really are. The third lesson I learned was how a person can be inside and outside the box at the same time. This is demonstrated through Tom's relationship with his bosses, who he has an out of the box relationship with, compared to his relationship with his wife, which he has an in the box relationship with. The concept of a person being inside and outside the box at the same time is important for leaders to know, as they could be having an out of the box conversation with one employee while having an in the box conversation with another. The fourth lesson I'll be discussing is what doesn't work when leaders or employees are in the box. According to the Arbinger Institution, there are 6 actions that do not work when leaders or employees are in the box, which are trying to trying to change others, coping with others, leading, communicating, implementing new skills or techniques, and changing your behavior. The main reason why these actions will not be as effective is because they're typically not focused on the problem that they're trying to solve. They're more focused on justifying their own views of themselves and of others. By taking these steps while inside the box, leaders and employees risk accidentally putting others in their own box, which can hinder communication, productivity, and success amongst the team. The last lesson that I'll be covering is knowing what it means to be outside the box versus living outside the box. According to the Arbinger Institution, being outside the box is when you understand that self betrayal leads to self deception and the box. When you're in the box, you cannot focus on results. Your influence and success will depend on being outside the box, and you get outside of the box as you cease to resist others. On the other hand, living outside the box is when you know that you don't need to be perfect. Do try to be better. You do not need to look for others' boxes. Do look for your own. Do not accuse others of being in the box. Do try to stay out of the box yourself. And do not focus on what others are doing wrong. Do focus on what you can be doing right to help. By understanding the differences, leaders can ensure that they are living this mantra, not just understanding it. In conclusion, Leadership in Self-Deception is a book created by the Arbinger Institution, whose main mission is bringing humanity to the workplace. They attempt to change the workplace through their concept of the box, which is a metaphor for how we tend to resist other people's call for help that leads us to engage in self-deceptive behaviors. Lastly, the 5 leadership lessons I learned while reading this book was how being inside the box can affect the workplace, how to get out of the box, how a person can be inside and outside the box at the same time, what doesn't work inside the box, and the difference between knowing what it means to be outside the box and living outside the box. That's all. Thank you guys for listening. Oh, my references.